And one visitor from Bioware Montreal to talk to you about Mass Effect. We're going to be talking a little bit, we've got a presentation and something to show you as well, but we are going to have time for questions from fans at the end. We've got a few questions from fans through Twitter, Facebook, Bioware social network we're going to address, but we want to be here to answer your questions as well. If we don't get to your questions, there's a lot of you. If we don't get to your questions before the end of the hour, we are here all weekend down in room 105, one level down near the Cap Theater at the Bioware base. We've also got members of the Dragon Age team. We've got some human resources people there if you've ever wanted to get a job and work at Bioware in the games industry. We've got a ton of swag, all that kind of thing. So if we don't get to your questions here tonight, come and visit us in room 105. We're here to talk to you. That's why we're here. And I want to start off, before I introduce my fellow panelists, my name is Chris Priestley. I am part of the community team at Bioware. I want to thank these 5 guys that have come out. I know there's a lot of fan love and affection for Mass Effect right now. It would be really easy for them to hide and stay at home and not want to talk to fans.
We love you, Dad! Why do you do
But they were brave enough to come out. They want to talk to, everybody that's got questions about the game, because we're really proud of the Mass Effect series. That's why we're here. We love the games that we make, and we love our fans. So we're going to talk about Mass Effect 3 today. I'll introduce my fellow panelists, and I'll turn them over. I have Mike Gamble, producer for Mass Effect. Alex El Sayad, he's a level designer. Reed Buckmaster, Reed is senior QA. John Dumbo, John is a writer, senior writer now. Senior writer. And Patrick Weeks, another writer. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike. He's got some stuff to tell you.
Test, can you hear me in the back? Good, good. Well, damn. I mean, we really filled this place. So, again, thanks to everyone for standing in line, waiting, coming out to ask questions and support us and all that stuff. Mass Effect 3 was a labor of love for the dev team, and we're extremely privileged to be here. We developed Mass Effect 3 over a couple of years, and we did it across Edmonton and Montreal. There's a talented team in Montreal who worked on a lot of amazing stuff that you saw in the game. Most of us are from Edmonton. Alex here is representing the Bioware Montreal studio. And we're just really, really stoked to be here. No lie, the fans, the community is really what makes us work that extra little bit, and we really appreciate it. So in general, I kind of want to get a feel for the audience, first of all, by a show of hands. Whose favorite game was Mass Effect 1? Okay. What about 2? Whoa. So, okay. What about 3? So you guys just want to talk about Mass Effect 2 for the next? And what about multiplayer? Who here plays multiplayer? Yeah! Okay, cool, right. Geth or Corian? Geth first.
Yeah! Oh!
Okay, I'm assuming that both is probably the answer that everyone prefers. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and FemShep or BroShep? Raise your hand. Alright, that's not bad. So it's pretty easy.
Just louder.
So we're going to do things kind of really informally today. We're going to do some Q&A. We don't have like a slide deck or something like that for you. We'll just talk a little bit about the dev process. I'm going to start out with talking a little bit about DLC. So my role right now is producer for the DLC for ME3, so I'm extremely close to it, and I think that we're going to be able to offer a lot in the next year. Mass Effect 2 was extremely successful with the DLC, and now because of the addition of the Montreal team, we're able to do more, bigger, larger, more. And so the next year is going to be pretty exciting. We talked about a couple DLCs over the last 2 days. One was announced Thursday morning, the extended cut. We'll go into a little bit more detail on that one later. And we did bring protections. And then the Resurgence DLC was announced this morning, so I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with it, because you're probably camped out in lines at PAX, but we have a new trailer that we'd like to show to you. So. There's no nudity in the trailer. So. Sound. There we go. Two things I want to call out about that. Available next week, Tuesday, so go everyone here, get it, and play it. But there's also the whole free thing. We want to keep, you guys happy and keep the discs in the tray, essentially. And we want to extend out the life of Mass Effect 3 as much as possible. We understand there's great value for both the player and for us for you to do that, so that's our focus. So that's multiplayer for the time being. So single player. Okay. So Thursday we announced the extended cut. Now, to be clear, the extended cut is not a reimagining of the endings or a new ending. A number of things that we made sure that we wanted to do with it, and we're currently building it right now. Our cinematics team, led by Slay, is on it as we speak. The writers, including two of the writers at the end of the table, are heavily involved, and it's coming together. Now, we wanted to clarify a number of things for the players. We wanted to make sure that we actually answered the questions that we're seeing. We're all on Twitter, we're on the social networks. We may not tweet necessarily or respond or engage in conversation, but we definitely put together the list. The community team, with the help of Jessica and Chris, feed us the information that you guys are the questions that you guys have. And so because of that, that's how we're going to take the direction for the Extended Cut DLC. We want to give some more closure around some of the questions you have, fill some of the unknowns, and in general, we really wanted to give the players a sense of personalization with the endings. So, many people mentioned that some of the choices that were within the game are not necessarily reflected in the ending scenes. We're definitely going to focus on things like that. We want to make sure that when you see the ending of Mass Effect, you now have the information and the context to feel satisfied. And in general, we're really excited to be doing it. So bear with us over the next couple months while we work on it, and it will come out, again, it will come out free. And currently, we're shooting for a generic summer release, but we're going to put the time and the effort into it that it takes. We're not going to rush it, but it's going to be done well. It's more than just a few cinematic scenes. It's more than just, you know, a small coat of paint. It is definitely a considerable amount, and so we're happy to be doing it.
Woo!
And so with that, I believe, Chris, there were some questions related to that?
Yeah, we're going to open it up to questions of everybody here in the room, but we had some come through our social media channels, the Bioware Social Network, our Twitter and our Facebook feeds. And we know these are pretty popular questions. We know a lot of you probably have the same sort of questions, so we're going to kind of cover some of them right at the start, and then, as we said, we'll open up the room later. Hopefully we'll have provided the answer you're looking for, but we'll see where we go. The first, Mike, you already kind of touched on it, is will the new extended cut provide new endings to the Mass Effect franchise?
Yeah, so basically you already talked about that one, like, no new endings, but we want to provide closure.
Okay. The next question about that is, why was that content not in the game at launch?
You know, the dev team stands by what we release in the core product. We're very proud of it, and well, thanks. It was important, though, like most things that we do, for us to listen to the community. And you know, a lot of the community feedback obviously didn't come until the game came out. And once we were listening, once we've heard, then we decided to move on the extended cut. So really, we couldn't have included it in the game because we didn't know there was such a huge demand for it, to be honest with you. So.
How does Bioware feel about the response from the fans?
Yeah, that's a loaded gun. Just kidding. You know what? Anytime anyone has constructive criticism, we've always welcomed it, and I'm sure, you know, there are always the few in the entire lot that are you know, not as constructive as possible. But we honestly don't let it, you know, make us jaded. We still understand that there's a lot of valuable feedback to be provided. You know, even today we were presented with an entire book of valuable feedback. A gorgeous book. And again, I mean, we still welcome it. So yeah, keep it coming. There's nothing stopping you guys. So.
Yeah, I wanted to add a little bit about this. I talk to the dev team a lot as I'm part of the community team reading the Bioware Social Network and everything. And whether it's support or whether it's anger, whether it's, you know, love or rage, whatever it is, we get it from you fans because you care about the game. That's why we pay attention. For us, really, it would be awesome if, you know, you bought the game and went, wow, that's the best game of all time, and then waited for the next DLC. But we know reality, that's probably not going to happen all the time. But when we get the feedback, like Mike said, the dev team is listening, we're reading forums, we're reading Twitter, we're reading media reviews, we're reading what the fans have to say. It matters to us, and it helps make us make better games in DLC. So we thank you very much for your feedback. The next question has to do with Tally's face.
Damn you!
It's kind of a two-part question. One, why did we choose to show Tally's face at all in the game? And then two, why was it how it looked?
Okay. Well, you know, the first question is quite obvious. A lot of people were basically wondering what Tally's face looked like, and we wanted to do it in a tasteful way that didn't necessarily throw it into the game engine. We thought that a gift from Tally, you know, in the form of a picture is probably the most appropriate way to do it. Yeah, and in terms of what Tally's face looked like and why it looked the way it was, we often use source material, source art for many things within our game. In the case of Tally's face, we wanted something to be photorealistic. We wanted the level of fidelity to be there. We wanted the color to be right. We wanted to essentially